What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Hashtag AskGSM on the 1st of August, 2018, episode 244, coming your way here today. Graham GSM Matthews. Hope you guys are doing well. As always, if you want to send in a question to the show, you can tweet me on the Twitter machine at WrestleRant with the hashtag AskGSM. Find me on Facebook as well, like the Page. Drop a comment on the post that I usually put up on Tuesday nights at facebook.com/graham.gsm.matthews, if not on the wall itself. And last but not least, be sure to drop a comment on this very video. I'll include the question in next week's edition. So also just a heads up as well, I usually collect the questions by like early Wednesday morning, unless I record it on Tuesday nights. It's usually Wednesday mornings though. So try to send them in by like 10 a.m. Eastern time if possible. But that being said, we got a very special episode on tap here today. For the first time in quite some time, we got a guest here on Hashtag today. Maybe for the first time in all of 2018, because I can't remember the last time that Jason was on or any other guest. We got Alexis, my glorious girlfriend, Bobby Roode style, glorious. Alexis, welcome to, I almost said Wrestle Rant Radio, but we'll be on that show as well. Welcome to Hashtag AskGSM. How you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Welcome to the show.
Fabulous.
Fabulous. Are you Fabulous? Like Carmella? You'll get along.
I don't like her, but okay.
Okay, you don't like her? I don't like Carmella either. We're just making a reference to Carmella, so... Anyway, making your debut here on Hashtag today. It's not Hashtag AskGSM, it's Hashtag Ask Alexis. How do you feel about that?
I feel very special. I feel like I'm the main character, so I'm kind of going to steal your show today. Just going to
taking over.
That.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least you're being honest. At least you're being very straightforward about it, so. Welcome to the show. Very happy to have you on. We got a lot of great questions for both me and you and us together as well.
Yeah, I haven't watched in a long time because I was at school, so I missed a lot.
So, like, when you say a long time, like, how long we talking here? Before recently? Like, 2 years? 3 years? I know you started watching, like, 5 years ago.
I probably started watching, like...
You said you started watching around the CM Punk Rock feud, which was January of 2013, so
yeah,
for about
so
5
there.
years.
I don't know, like, I would say about a year and a half.
That's not that long at all.
I think it's long.
It's really not. Trust me. I've heard from people who stopped watching because, not because they went to school, but because the product fucking sucks at times, especially with Raw, which I was talking about last night over text. People just stop watching altogether. And they just tune out for like months on end. And sometimes they'll keep up with like the results and stuff like that. But they won't watch for like years. People haven't watched, some people that I talked to haven't watched since like 2014. So a year and a half is really not that long.
Okay.
So maybe in your sense it is. And a year is a long time for me, like it would be. If I don't watch in 2 weeks, it's like, oh my God, the end of the world. But it's different for, everyone. It's depending on who it is. But like I said, people can send in the questions. Alexis is here to answer all your glorious questions here today, at least most of them. Like the first question, kind of tailored towards me. It comes from Captain Sunshine on the YouTube machine. Their question was, I want to complain about Brock Lesnar spending an entire 3-hour show sitting on a couch, backstage demanding food, insulting his one friend, and refusing to go to the ring to participate in Raw because he hates it. He thinks it's stupid, thinks everyone who watches it is stupid, and doesn't understand why anyone would like it. But I also don't. There is just something amazing about the #1 sports entertainment brand. WWE's top character is a guy who's too good and famous to be in WWE, so he just rolls his eyes and complains when he has to make quarterly appearances. Seriously, what kind of show do you have to be where your big star's a part-timer who gets go-away heat precisely because of how part-time he is? So basically they're saying, first of all, I thought it was very realistic when Brock Lesnar said on Monday's Raw that I don't watch the show, Paul Heyman. When he was talking about, are you watching Raw tonight? Brock said, I don't watch the show. Why would I watch the show? Which I think very accurately says a lot about today's current fan base, because there's a lot of people who ask themselves, why do I watch the show when it's not really as good as it could be? Because I'm kind of disappointed that I'm getting you back into wrestling right now, at least with Raw, where it's not really all that exciting from week to week, because there's really not much to talk about.
It seems a little flat right now.
It is very flat. That is the perfect word to describe it. This is why I love you. But SmackDown is just a much more versatile show. There's a lot more to sink your teeth into. There's a lot, like Daniel Bryan is like a hot commodity. That guy's a star. Him and The Miz, a very easy program to get into. I know you didn't watch SmackDown last night. You were working and you came over early this morning. But watch SmackDown when you can. I know you already kind of read the results, but the Daniel Bryan-Miz interaction was amazing. That's great. You saw the Jeff Hardy-Randy Orton thing.
It got personal.
Very personal. The Jeff Hardy-Randy Orton thing is great. You saw the ear thing a couple weeks ago. I was watching that with you. Very gross to watch. There's a couple other things going on right now. With the women, it's great. I'm a big Becky Lynch fan, so it's kind of cool to see her going back after the belt. Charlotte came back last night. There's quite a bit going on right now between, on SmackDown, not really so much on Raw. But yeah, I know you said you had to complain about Brock Lesnar being on the show. This really isn't much of a question that you're throwing out here, but I just thought it was funny with the Brock Lesnar thing. If the most interesting thing on Raw is Brock Lesnar sitting backstage reading a comic book or a magazine,
it's not worth it.
It's not really worth your time, especially when it's a 3-hour show. Maybe that's why SmackDown's more digestible, if that's a word, or like bearable, because it's a 2-hour show. But just with Brock Lesnar and the whole Roman Reigns thing, and you were asking me on Monday why people don't like Roman Reigns, you still don't really quite get it, but like with Roman Reigns, people don't like him because he gets countless shots at the championship, and it's the same story every time, whether he wins or he loses. The guy just, people are not going to accept him in his current character, if that makes sense. If they were being portrayed in a certain way, it's not Roman Reigns' fault, because I like Roman Reigns. I'm not sure if your dad does. Your dad was like, I hate Roman Reigns. So I'm not really sure if
we all used to really like him. That's why I was confused, because a year ago, all 5 of us were huge fans of him.
Yeah.
And then I come back and it's like...
Now it's the opposite with Brock Lesnar. But he's always really liked Brock Lesnar from what it looks like.
Absolutely.
Brock Lesnar's the man. But I'm hoping Brock... I mean, the thing is, I don't really want Brock to win at SummerSlam, because if he wins, that means he's going to hold the championship for longer. And again, like I said, you're just getting back into it. Brock, he doesn't make regular appearances on Raw. Not like AJ Styles. Like, he's never on the show. And you can't really have a top champion who's never on the show. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, he rarely comes on,
yeah.
He?
His contract just kind of dictates that he can show up when he wants, which is fine, but when you're a champion, you can't really do that. You know what I mean? Like, he hasn't had a championship match since, like, April. And it's August. Like, that's not good.
Wow.
That's not good at all. So the whole Brock Lesnar thing's a whole issue right now. Hopefully that gets solved coming out of SummerSlam. Emmanuel A., he's got 3 questions, all for Alexis. So he had specifically heard, he put in his comment that he heard that you were coming on the show. He wanted to ask you a few questions. The third one's amazing. Well, we'll go down the list here. Don't read them yet. I'll read them off to you. I don't want you to get spoiled. She hasn't seen any of the questions, by the way. She's like, I heard Alexis was coming on. These 3 questions were for her specifically.
Okay.
First question was, I'm not really sure if you would know what this is. He said, what do you know of the internet wrestling community? Like people that watch wrestling but like post about it online. You're not really too involved with that.
No, I'm not involved with that. I just started reading. I did a lot of research on Monday when I was with you watching Raw. And I don't know much about it, to be honest with you.
No,
I just know your stuff.
Yeah, just heavily involved with it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think it's best to not get too involved with the internet wrestling community. It's basically the people. I mean, everyone has the internet nowadays. That was kind of the word for people who had the internet that were like tweeting about the show. And there was a difference between people who posted about the show online and then just strictly watched the shows, like yourself, like a casual fan type of thing. And that's not really, the lines are kind of blurred because everyone has the internet. Like you're a casual fan, but you're not like posting about the show online. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you're technically a part of that community because you're on the internet reading about wrestling, but you're not like commenting on it with other fans like I am, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But your knowledge of that will grow maybe in time as I share more opinions with you about my thoughts on the product and shit like that. We'll see. This one's interesting. What is the most absurd wrestling storyline that you know of? That you've seen or know of?
That's a really good question.
I saw that. I'm thinking, that's a great question.
Like, absurd meaning...
Like, this is either stupid or like, wow, this is batshit crazy. Whether it be good or bad. That's what I take that to mean.
There's a lot that I know of that are just pointless. Like, a lot of them are pointless now.
Yeah. That is very true.
I mean, I don't think I know any absurd ones. Unless you're talking about, like... The only thing, when I think of absurd right now, I'm thinking of Randy Orton, like, pulling on...
That's a good example. On Jeff Hardy's ear, yeah.
Jeff Hardy's ear. But one of my favorite ones was CM Punk and The Rock. That one was the one that got me into it.
Yeah.
It
wasn't absurd, it was your
It wasn't absurd, it was like, I really liked it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed watching it. And The Rock has a great personality for anything.
He does. Dwayne The Rock Johnson's amazing. Go watch Skyscraper. Enjoy it. I thought it was good.
Absolutely. Go watch Skyscraper, 1050.
Look at the little promotional girl over here plugging The Rock. I hope he gets his free merchandise for his show.
Yeah, The Rock. Follow me at Alexis
on Instagram and Twitter. She's on Twitter now as well.
Yeah, I am.
But like, so what he means by that, like you said, the ear thing because you don't like
That is absurd.
It is absurd, but not in the way that I think he means.
Not in the and not in like the lasting.
In wrestling terms, it's not as absurd as you would think. In the general sense, if you show that to someone who's not a fan, it's like, wow, this is really weird. It is definitely absurd.
I mean, Randy Orton's gotten really weird now. Unless
he is
he's
a weirdo.
been like that. He got really weird.
He's been weird, but not really in the sense that he has been recently, if that makes sense.
He's
absurd,
been like acting out.
Which makes him interesting, because before he wasn't really doing that.
He's going through like a RKO crisis.
Yeah, I think so. Which is what piques my interest, because I want to see what he's going to do next.
So maybe I'll count that.
Maybe count that. But I think, so like here's an example. Because I think in the time that you watched, there weren't really like absurd storylines.
No, I haven't watched that like long lasting.
No, yeah. I think, but even in the time that you watched there weren't really like absurd storylines as much as there were pointless storylines. Like this guy wins a match, and then that guy wins a match. And they have another match, and that guy wins. Like, that's just pointless, and no one cares.
There's a lot of ones that start over dumb reasons, and it's just... It seems to me like an excuse to have a rivalry.
Pretty much. That's exactly what it is.
There's no creativity really put into it.
It's not absurd as much as it is meaningless.
Yeah.
No creativity. But, like, one example, and maybe I'll show you this at some point, or maybe not, depending on, like... because it's kind of fucked up. But they had a storyline many, many years ago, back in, like, 2002. This is what he means by this. Like, it gets... crazy. Like, not so much in recent years, but like back in the early 2000s, late 90s, they did a lot of crazy shit. They can get away with a lot back in the day. Like I was telling you about like the bras and panties matches and shit, like how the women have evolved from where they were to where they are today. They got away with a lot back in the day, for better or for worse. This being for the worse. So they had a storyline where Kane, he was holding back a secret or something, and then Triple H tried to expose that secret, and he found out that the secret that Kane was holding back was that Kane has sex with a dead body while it was in a casket. That was the storyline.
Oh my god!
And Triple H reenacted this on an episode of Raw, like in a pre-taped video package or something, at a funeral home. He wore a Kane mask and pretended to have sex with a mannequin in the casket. It was called the Katie Vick storyline. If you look it up, it's very infamous, but it's like everything's on the network now, so I can show you, but it was pretty bad. It is well regarded as one of, if not the worst storyline the WWE has ever done. Because it's not like, it doesn't make me hate Triple H, it just makes me embarrassed to have watched wrestling. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
That was probably the worst example. There's many others, but that's like the most prominent one. So that is like the definition of absurd, and to a more greater extent, like fucked up. So that's what they've done in the past. Thankfully, there's nothing along those lines today.
I haven't seen anything remotely like that.
Yeah, exactly. They've really toned it down. Like I said, probably for the better in recent years, because thank God. That stuff is edgy, but like edgy...
I don't know. That sounds a little interesting. No, I'm kidding. Stuff.
Their next question, Emmanuel's third question here. What are the best memes right now, Alexis?
Oh my god, my friend.
Emmanuel doesn't even know how big of a meme master you are. The meme meister is Alexis.
SpongeBob. Anything with SpongeBob is hilarious.
SpongeBob is a big meme right now.
My favorite thing is when they take, like, screenshots of the weird animations that they do, and they're all in, like, really weird poses. They're so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the SpongeBob, like, this hasn't been popular in a while, but, like, the one where he's, like, where every other letter is capitalized, like, are you doing that? You know, that whole, I don't even know what episode's that from. And that was a big meme for a while. I thought that was so dumb. I wasn't a big fan of that one. I
didn't understand it first.
I was like, what is this? There was the caveman one. The caveman SpongeBob was big for a little while, about a year or two ago.
My favorite one is, like, Patrick, and he looks sinister.
Oh,
he's like evil.
Yeah, I can't do. I mean,
so
this is
evil.
audio. When he's like on the top of the freaking rock or something. It's the butterfly episode. That was big for a while.
My favorite is like
earlier this year that blew up.
Yeah, it did.
That was the one I was thinking of.
What,
yeah,
April or something?
Yeah,
February?
I think even earlier than that.
February,
yeah.
I think. It was like January, February.
It was big.
My favorite, and I said this to you when we were working one day, but it was like that episode with the butterfly episode, and they're looking through Sandy's like animals in there, and Patrick says he speaks Italian, and then he's like, I speak Italian.
Yeah.
And that's just that. I cry laughing every time.
It's not a meme, but it's just funny.
It's not even a meme. It's just like I could talk about SpongeBob for like 3 days straight and not.
SpongeBob's like everything that you see in SpongeBob nowadays, because someone brought in SpongeBob season 3 to work a couple months ago. It might have been Franklin, but he brought it in, and we were watching, and I was telling Franklin, like, everything on this season, in every single episode, I can point out at least one meme. Because everything from the old episodes, the new episodes were shit. I think the show's still running. I don't know.
It's still running. They plan on closing it or getting rid of it.
Ending it soon, yeah.
That one and Pokemon are like the two.
Pokemon, and I think that's... I'm shocked. That's different because you bring a new Pokemon. SpongeBob is just dumb. It got dumb like a decade ago. Not even a few years ago. Like, it's been dumb for a long time.
They haven't figured out new ways to bring it back. Make it better.
I think the issue is because... I know this is kind of a long... on a relevant tangent here about SpongeBob when we're doing a wrestling show, but like with SpongeBob, I heard that the person who not came up with the show, but like one of the main writers, he left the show after the first movie, which is why the show tanked after the movie.
He did.
So the show has not been the same since. It was very apparent. Very apparent.
It was very different.
Because the movie was amazing.
Well,
they came out the second movie, it was shit.
Mm-hmm.
So
this goes for like everything, not just like at everything you have, like every series you have, like wrestling or anything. It gets bad at points, and sometimes you just have to end it. You have to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Or like sometimes there's no way to save it. It's tanking.
Yeah, it depends. With wrestling, there's peaks and valleys and stuff, and sometimes when it gets bad,
wrestling is easier to save because it's not like episodic.
Yeah, well, it is, but it's not.
But it's not.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a weekly television show, but it's not like I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's not like SpongeBob, but it is because they have new episodes every week. But it's not like.
But they could I don't know. They could get away with some stuff.
Yeah, it's a little different in how that's formatted and structured.
Yeah.
Whereas with the television show, when it's tanking and the ratings are down, and the ratings are down with wrestling too, but it's different with like a show like that, because they're not as involved with like WWE's a business. SpongeBob's not a business. It's a television show. You know what I'm saying? There's much more to WWE than just Raw. If it was all about Raw, the company would have closed down years ago because they make a lot more money off of like merchandise and shit like that. With SpongeBob, the show tanked like a decade ago, so I cannot wait for that show to end because it is just unbearable to watch by this point. But we'll go to the next question here. So I want to bring this up. This is from Brandon. It's not really a question. It's got just a very long pointing out something from last week. This really doesn't have anything to do with you, but he brought up a question to me last week, like, who are the top 10 most important wrestlers in the business right now? And I made a list.
Wow.
And two people who are not on the list were AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan. Now, this was his justification for leaving off AJ Styles. So he said, I intentionally left off AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan off the list last week because of how I feel WWE treats them. I believe they view them as valuable assets, but not to the degree that they should. AJ Styles holds the most important wrestling championship in the history and the entire industry, and the guy has not main evented a big show since February. He has not main evented a big show in singles competition since 2017, and Jinder Mahal, of all people, shared that spot with him. The list was not an actual ranking, but I would put Daniel Bryan ahead of him for the simple fact that Daniel Bryan is even more over than AJ, which I agree, but AJ's still very popular, so I don't know if I would necessarily agree with that, especially with the casuals, and I don't ever see AJ Styles main eventing a WrestleMania, where Bryan already did, even if that wasn't the original plan. AJ is so good that he should be at the top of the list, but looking at things objectively, he can't be put there in my opinion. AJ Styles or Daniel Bryan did not have a match of the year contender so far this year, and almost every other person on that list across all promotions, including Roman Reigns, has been in a match better than anything AJ has done this year. That is not AJ's fault, that's WWE's fault. As you probably gathered, I am someone who actually is a Roman Reigns fan, but I can admit that this year has been terrible as far as he goes. But he was in the Gauntlet match, he was in the Elimination Chamber match, and in the Royal Rumble, all of which were better than any AJ match this year, including the matches with Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't know of a breakout match from Johnny Mundo / Impact this year, but every other wrestler on that list I can give a case for. Again, WWE, not AJ, is the reason why I did not include him on this list. Vince, go kick rocks. Vince McMahon, that is. So I do agree with that to an extent. I just do want to bring this up real quick. It's not really much of a question. AJ Styles, I still say, even though he's not been involved in a match of the year contender so far this year, is still very important to the SmackDown brand. He is the guy on that show. The match and the feud that he had with Nakamura wasn't like amazing, or at least as epic as people thought it would be, but the guy is still the face that runs the place, as he calls himself, the face of SmackDown Live, and without him, I think SmackDown would be much worse off. And again, right now he's not lighting the world on fire in terms of matches, but he did have the best match on the pay-per-view at Extreme Rules with Rusev. They had a great match. Week to week, he's still having amazing matches on SmackDown. He is still very popular, sells a lot of merchandise, so I'm still going to disagree with you that AJ should be on that list of top 10 most important wrestlers right now in the world. Daniel Bryan should also be on that list. He really has not been involved in much of note. He was involved with a fucking feud with Big Cass a couple months ago, which was completely pointless. And now he did the whole Team Hell No thing, which was cool, but it only lasted a month. It's already been broken up. So maybe he'll get back on that list, but you were... What? You give me that look.
It was?
Yeah, Team Hell No lasted a month. The reunion, anyway. Lasted all of like 3 weeks. And now he's involved with The Miz again. Kane took time off again, so... It was short-lived. She's a big Team Hell No fan, so she has a soft spot for Daniel Bryan and Kane as a tag team.
Daniel Bryan. He's like my favorite.
He's
one of my favorites.
Daniel Bryan's amazing. I know you're a casual fan, and he's saying that kind of proves his point, that Daniel Bryan's more popular with fans like such as yourself.
He is.
Which is true, but he's also been around for a lot longer than AJ in WWE, so it's a little different.
He's been around for a long time.
He's been around now for almost 8 years in the company, so it's a little different, but... I do have to disagree with you. I think he should be on the list, but Daniel Bryan should be on there too. His second question, top 3 matches of the week. Real quickly, my top 3 matches, none of which you saw, but one from Lucha Underground last week, Dragon Azteca Jr., Desmond Xavier, and King Cuerno had a great 3-way on Lucha last week. From NXT, probably the match of the week for me, Aleister Black and Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship. Amazing match from last week's episode of NXT. And from SmackDown last night, the Usos versus Sheamus and Cesaro. Very good match. Those teams always work well together. And a quick honorable mention to Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins from Monday's Raw. That was also a very good match as well. Renee D from Facebook, or as they would say, Renee. If you don't like the name, I apologize. But Renee D from Facebook, whoever this might be. Her question is, my son is really getting annoyed with John Cena leaving for a while and then coming back to win titles. What do you think? I'm not a big fan of that. Renee, I'm going to tell you flat out, I'm not a big fan of that at all. I'm not a real big John Cena fan.
He knows what big a deal he is, so he feels like he can just leave and come back as he pleases.
But he doesn't earn the titles. That's the thing. He doesn't earn a title match. He leaves, goes to film frickin', Transformers 7 or, Cock Blocker's Party, and then he comes back and wins a championship, or, not wins titles. He hasn't won a title in a few years, but, he'll come back and get a championship match, even though he did nothing to earn it. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't approve of that. I really don't.
I'm not a big fan of him as I used to be. I wasn't a big fan.
Yeah, not as a number
he's
one
fan. Kind of he's flat now. He is. That's the only word I can use to describe it.
Only describe it. Only word.
To only describe it.
I agree. Yeah, I'm not a fan. John Cena, very hypocritical, saying you have to earn the day, you got to earn your opportunities, and the guy comes back and gets a title match without doing anything to earn it.
When he used to do this, he would have an open.
The U.S. Open, yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool. I liked that.
I liked that, but now he's kind of...
That was years ago, yeah.
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 That's around the last time I've really
that was great,
it.
though. The United States title open thing that he did was probably the biggest John Cena fan that I've ever been. To be honest with you, quick side story here. I was thinking to myself, I was this close. You guys can't see this, but very close is what I'm saying. Very, very close to buying a John Cena t-shirt at that point.
Wow.
And I have a lot of wrestling shirts, don't have any John Cena shirts. The shirt was, and you might recall it was a picture of the United States Championship, around where the waist would be, and it said the champ is here pointing down to the belt.
Yeah.
I almost bought that shirt.
Wow.
I almost bought that. And then I was like, not really. And then he dropped the title, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not a John Cena fan anymore. So, but I came close, and I almost bought that t-shirt.
Wow.
But, he really has not done much for me since then.
No.
Speaking of John Cena, Renee's second question here. Are you upset that Nikki and John broke up?
No.
No, I'm not, because it's not true love. They weren't meant to be together. They weren't meant to be. Nikki is such a fake bitch. Let me tell you this real quick. This bothers me. I was thinking about this last night, and this really, really bothered me. And I was telling your mom about this the other day, because she watches the show as well. I was telling your mom, and now Renee is asking a question about this, so everyone wants to know. But she was asking me, I was telling her, rather, about John Cena and Nikki, that they've been dating for a long time. John Cena always said, I don't want kids, I don't want to get married. And then it got to a point where he was so in love with her, and they had a lot of issues over the last 5 years. Not a lot of issues, but they had their typical relationship issues, whatever. And he eventually came around and said, I'll marry you. And he proposed to her at WrestleMania, and I was there for it, and I was going, yes, yes, say yes, say yes. I was crying, and everything was amazing. Jason sat in his fucking seat, and he was like, this is bullshit, and I hate this, and this is stupid. And I was like, yes, oh my God, Miriam, yes, going. So anyway, so she said yes, and John Cena went through, or was going to get married, and he was really excited. You could tell from like the Total Bella show that he was really excited about getting married, even though he never wanted to get married again. And then she called off the wedding, and she said, if you don't give me kids, I don't know if I can go through with this. And he's like, I'll give you kids. She's like, okay, yay, the wedding's back on. Then she called it off again on this past week's episode of Total Bellas because she felt that she needs to do some soul searching. And that happened right after WrestleMania earlier this year, and it came out officially this past week from TMZ and some other sources, and Nikki Bella said this too, that she and John Cena are officially done. And I'm not sure if they're taking a break or whatever, but they are officially going their separate ways. So John Cena basically broke his own promise. I mean, he never actually went through with it, mind you, but he agreed to do something he thought he never would.
That's a life-changing
That's a life-changing event. I mean, again, he never had the kid. They never actually got married.
But
still saying that you're going to do it, even though you said you never would, is a big change for a person, big lifestyle change. And then she says, no, I'm fine by myself. I don't want to be the next Mrs. John Cena. I want to be a strong, independent woman. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, okay? I know it's 2018. The feminist stuff is huge right now. I'm not knocking that. But the whole thing, she specifically said in interviews, I do not want to be the next Mrs. John Cena. But she said for years, I would love nothing more than to be your wife. Does that make any sense to you as a girl? Any sense whatsoever?
That doesn't make any sense to me. It just feels like she's using him for fame.
She's
using him to stay relevant.
Bingo. She's not wrestling anymore. She hasn't wrestled in almost 2 years. So she's using him as a platform to stay relevant in the public eye.
Well, and now that they're separated, who knows what's going to happen after that?
Exactly. She'll probably come back and start dating Dolph Ziggler or something. They'll get back together. That was a big thing. Hey, they were together for a while. Then he tried to take her back, which was so staged on an episode of Total Divas. Or Total Bellas, whatever. I think it was Total Divas. But anyway, point I'm trying to make here is that I think the real couple here, the real awesome couple, except for you and I, is Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. They're a great couple. They were meant to be together. Daniel Bryan's a gem. Brie Bella I'm not always fond of. She makes some dumb decisions sometimes.
She's not Nikki, though.
She's not Nikki. She tries to be like Nikki, which she shouldn't be. But they're an awesome couple. So that's true love right there.
I like them together.
John and Nikki were never true love. For those saying,
oh my God. They were kind of like a taboo couple that was just forced together, and then they were like, oh, let's just be together.
Stay together just because that's what the people want. Because people are like, oh my God, I love Nina. Like Nikki Bella and John Cena, they call it Nina, Nena. Oh, it's so ugly. I hate that word. Nina, oh my God.
That's my car's name?
Well, it's spelled differently. Nina can be that's Spanish for baby girl too. Nina. Did you not know that?
No.
Nina is baby girl. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Nina.
Nina. Theirs was Nina. Because Nena.
That's weird.
Nina is baby girl. So it's a little different. But anyway, so I thought it was, people who are sad they broke up, cry me a river. Let's see. Muhammad D from Facebook. Do you see the situation happening between now and after SummerSlam? Roman Reigns wins the Universal Championship at SummerSlam because, of course, then Braun Strowman will cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase, defeat Roman Reigns, and then thus leave Brooklyn your Universal Champion. And then let Strowman have a lengthy title reign, minimum until WrestleMania, where there could be a chance that Sami Zayn will return to the ring and challenge Strowman on the road to WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. I think everything you just said will happen except for the Sami Zayn part. I do not see that happening. I think maybe Braun won't cash in at SummerSlam. They might wait until the next night because I think Brock is slated to appear on the Raw after SummerSlam, so it might not happen at SummerSlam itself. It might happen the next night. But anyway, Strowman and Sami is a world title program. They worked well together a few years ago. At this point in time, with Sami as a bad guy, Strowman is a good guy, that doesn't interest me at all. But do you see, bottom line, Alexis, do you see Roman beating Brock at SummerSlam and then Braun cashing in?
No.
You don't? What do you see happening?
No. I took notes, and I literally wrote on the last sentence something like, Roman needs a casket.
Roman needs a casket? Mm-hmm. For what reason?
Him against Brock Lesnar. That's
the
happening,
match,
right?
That's the match. You think Brock's going to win is what you're saying?
Yes.
Do you think Braun will cash in on Brock Lesnar? And if so, do you think he'd be successful?
See, that's another story. That's different if he would be successful or not, because Roman, I don't think, has a chance
of beating Brock.
No.
But what if Brock is tired and then he faces Braun? Does Braun win?
Like right after?
Yeah.
He might.
Okay.
But I don't know. I really.
Do you think Brock's beating Roman though?
He is.
Wow.
He is.
Wow, he is. Not even that. I think he will. He is, she says. Bold prediction here on hashtag Ask Alexis. Wow.
If he doesn't, then I'll cry.
Wow. Okay, so bring out the tissues at SummerSlam because Roman's winning. LOL.
Is that what you think?
Roman is definitely winning. I have no doubt about that.
Well,
Time for the big dog to win the title.
You're probably right because you know more than I do, but I want Brock to win. Hey, I said when you went to that, the Money in the Bank that Braun was going to win.
And I didn't think he was going to win, so you were right.
I won.
You were right, so we'll see.
I won that one.
I think Braun will win. I think between the two of Brock and Roman, who do I think is going to win? Braun Strowman. That's what I think is going to win between the two of them. Braun Strowman.
Why are you doing this to me?
Next question. In the wake of Brian Christopher's passing, do you think Too Cool is perhaps the most underrated tag team in the Attitude Era, considering this is where Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, and the Hardy Boys are all being pioneers of the tag team division, yet Too Cool was super over with the fans during that time? Yeah, I do think, I don't know if they're the most underrated tag team. They got to be up there. They weren't together for too long. I think people think they were together longer than they actually were, but they were very entertaining. Jerry Lawler's son, who died a couple days ago, and then another guy named Scotty 2 Hotty, who did a match. His finisher was called the Worm. He would literally do the worm in the middle of the ring and then drop an elbow on someone. It was the most ridiculous pro wrestling finisher of all time, but it was amazing. You have to see it to believe it. I'll show you after we're done here. It's phenomenal. But there's a tag team called Too Cool, very popular. I'd say that they are underrated. I don't know about the most underrated because they were also very good in the ring, but I don't know if they ever became tag team champions. I don't think so. But they probably would have had more success had it not been for Edge and Christian and the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys. The next question, in regards to the most recent Wrestling with Regret and Cultaholic videos on Phantom Champions, Phantom Champions, I guess, is basically when a title change occurs, but the company doesn't recognize it, I guess. So what is one Phantom Champion that you remember from the past that you wish could become a reality by being recognized by WWE, NWA, etc.? Mine would have to be Antonio Inoki winning the WWE Championship from Bob Backlund in Japan. Considering Backlund's on a long title reign and having a Japanese world champion would have been really nice. This isn't a singular champion, but the Rockers, I think, won the tag team titles at a house show many years ago. Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. It wasn't recognized because it didn't actually happen or the ring broke or something, so it never was actually recognized. But had the Rockers won the tag team titles, they would have finally been recognized as tag team champions, which they never were because of that. They never ended up winning the tag team titles. So if I had to pick one Phantom Championship reign, it would have to be that one. Mark S. from Facebook, if Alexis had to choose one of each, who would be your favorite male and female wrestlers be? Who are your favorite male and female wrestlers?
I have 3 males. That's
no
so
females.
That's so difficult. I'm more of a fan of the.
I know because you haven't watched in a while, but the women are a lot better.
But still,
it takes a while to get used to it. But okay, go ahead.
Paige isn't wrestling anymore, right? Or is
she retired, but if you want to name her, she's on TV.
I do like her.
Okay, so Paige
would pick her.
Okay.
And it's a tie between 3 people for the males.
Wow. Okay. Well, okay.
Daniel Bryan.
Figured that.
Seth Rollins, wow. And Dean Ambrose.
Wow. Okay. So 3 really good picks.
Mm-hmm.
This is why my other guy, she has really good taste in wrestlers. So yeah. So Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Daniel Bryan. Wow. Great.
I love all 3 of them.
They're all great. I love
Seth
all 3
Rollins,
of those guys.
I've loved him.
I've always liked him, but I've become a bigger fan of him this year because he's been doing really well.
I've always really, 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 really liked him. Oh, and I do like Bray Wyatt too. I really like him.
Bray Wyatt's another guy. Okay, nice.
I liked watching him when he was
with the Wyatt family.
Yeah.
The Wyatt family was great. Yeah.
I really liked that, and then it's not a thing. When I found out it wasn't a thing anymore, I was.
Yeah, they broke them all up. Braun Strowman's great.
I like
he's
him
on
too,
his own, yeah.
But Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, and Daniel Bryan.
Hopefully, Dean Ambrose baby is back pretty soon. Deanie baby. Hopefully.
Yeah, I haven't seen him.
He got hurt late last year. He's got to be back soon. They actually, at the time that he got hurt, they reunited the Shield.
I know.
The Shield was back together for like a month or 2. It was great. I'll show you the segment where they came back together. It was so good. And they also had a few months before Roman got back in the picture. Seth had just become a good guy, a babyface as they call it at that point.
Yeah,
but him and Dean Ambrose weren't on the same page, so they. It might have been right before he went off to school.
Yeah, I remember watching that when he became a good guy.
Yeah, and they had to work together because Dean didn't trust Seth because he turned on him so many years ago. It took a while for them to get back on the same page, and then one day they just had a common goal in taking out Sheamus and Cesaro, and they came back together, and they finally did like a fist bump, and the crowd exploded. It was so fucking great. So.
Well, how long ago was that?
That was last summer that they got back together, and they won the tag team titles.
Yeah, I think I watched that.
You might have seen that.
I might have, and I had like a minor seizure.
It was amazing.
I'll show you
the clip. It was so good. And then Roman got back in the picture, and the Shield got back together, and they came out to like da-da, da-da, and that whole shit. And they got out the vest and everything. It was so good. Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, the Shield. It was so good. Oh my god, I lost my mind. Anyway, so those are your top 3 favorites. Next question is from me, from Mark. What was your opinion on Tommaso Ciampa winning the NXT Championship last Wednesday? Is it a bit strange since he lost in the first round of the Cruiserweight Classic 2 years ago, and then 3 years ago he couldn't win a singles match? Or is it understandable? I was a big fan of the title change. I would have waited until TakeOver in a couple weeks, but Tommaso Ciampa is the best bad guy in all of wrestling right now. Yeah, no, I know like a couple years ago he was just another guy in the CWC, but he's really come into his own as one of the best bad guys in wrestling today. So I had no issue with the title change. The guy's fucking great. What should happen next with the tag team of Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, and should they stay pretty much the same? I'm not sure if they're good guys right now. I'm not sure if they're bad guys. I don't know what's going on with them. I like them as a tag team, but they have not really been doing a lot that has interested me lately. I love Matt Hardy. I like Bray Wyatt, but it does seem like the Revival's time to be pushed right now to get in that tag team title picture. So with Bray and Matt, I don't know. Maybe they just stay the same. Do you think they should break up, Alexis, or do you think that they should stay together for a little while longer?
Well, if they break up, what do you think's going to happen with them individually?
Then nothing. That's the issue. I don't think anything will happen.
They're just going to
just be
wrestle
there
on their own?
Just wrestle on their own and face fucking losers every week and not do anything like that, not have anything going on. Because Raw is like a bad place to be directionless. Because if you have no direction on Raw, you're going to flounder and not even appear on the show. So at least if they're a tag team, they have a better chance of like being on TV and winning matches.
I don't know, because I don't think they have any interest right now.
No, they got nothing going on.
I don't have any interest of it.
As a tag team, they got not a lot going on. But
I had a lot more interest when he had his whole shtick years ago.
The Wyatt family, yeah. Bray Wyatt, they've really struggled with him to make him or have him stay relevant, if that makes sense.
At that point too.
Even back then, but especially now, they just never really know what to do with Bray Wyatt because his character is so good. Like the whole like dark stuff, it's so different.
It's so good.
It's very good, but they don't really know how to use it. Because he loses a lot. But his character's great.
I think he's a little underrated.
He's underrated in the fact that I think he's underutilized is what I mean.
There you go.
Underrated too, because he's not as good. Like Daniel Bryan's a better wrestler than Bray Wyatt, so is a majority of the roster. But in terms of character,
he's
it's a one of a kind.
In that sense, he's underutilized.
I agree. I absolutely agree, 100%. Andre G from Facebook. If Brian Cage decided to sign with WWE, how long do you think it would take for them to give him the WWE Championship? I don't think they would actually give him the world title. I mean, I guess they could, but I mean, I think people had the same assumption about Bobby Lashley coming back and winning the belt on night one, which obviously didn't happen. Just because they're big and jacked doesn't mean they're going to win the belt from night one, from the get-go. I mean, I guess they could, but if they really had an interest in Brian Cage, they would have signed him before Impact did, or when Lucha Underground, or when they had the chance and they never did. So it's not all about being all muscled up anymore and having, looking like a genetic freak. I think he would do well in WWE, but I don't think he would be world champion from the get-go. But Brian Cage is great, though. His second question, would you consider low-key underrated, the former Caval from many, many years ago? No, I think a lot of people know low-key is good. Maybe at that time he was better than most, but I don't think he's underrated. The guy is very good, but there's so many people nowadays that are very good, I don't think he's underrated. His third question, I just watched Rey Mysterio versus Mystico and was very disappointed in the match. Have you seen the match, and what did you think of it? I did not even know that match happened. I know Mystico was the original Sin Cara before they switched it over. There's a different person under the Sin Cara mask now than who it was the first time. Yeah, the first guy got fired, which is that guy Mystico, because he just wasn't very good. He was an asshole backstage, all this other stuff, but he couldn't speak English either. I haven't seen the match. I'll have to go out of my way to watch it, but I think that would have been a bigger match years ago. But even if they don't have good chemistry, then maybe it was a good thing that a match between them at WrestleMania never came to fruition, like a lot of people thought it would at WrestleMania like 28 or 29, because it wouldn't have been very good. But maybe it was just because Mystico has not been relevant in years, and I don't know, just he kind of lost his touch a little bit, and he's not as good as people think he is. Jeremy B. from Facebook. Am I the only one that feels like the only women WWE care about right now are Ronda Rousey, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte? The answer to that is largely yes. I mean, if the answer... they care about Becky enough to give her a winning streak, about Becky Lynch. So they obviously care about her to an extent. They care about Bayley and Sasha Banks because they have their thing going on Raw right now.
Yeah, but they need stuff to fill in.
They need stuff to fill in, so it's a little different. Alexa Bliss has always been in the forefront of the division, as is Charlotte. They should obviously care about Ronda just because she's a big star. Mm-hmm. Alexa and Charlotte are very good, but it would be good if they spread the love a little bit and focused on other women too. I love Bayley, but she hasn't done anything for me in a long time. Like Alicia Fox is fucking terrible. Natalya, I couldn't give two shits about. There's a few other women on SmackDown like the Iconics I like, and they don't really care about them too much. Or Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. So hopefully at some point they get more TV time. And Naomi's very good. I like Naomi a lot. But yeah, I think the three women they care about the most, maybe not only care about, but care about the most, are absolutely Ronda Rousey, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte.
They're good picks.
They're very good picks.
I watched Ronda Rousey for the first time.
On Raw this week.
Yeah, and I instantly loved her.
She's great.
For not even a couple minutes, and I loved her.
Yeah,
so
Ronda
Rousey's
Rousey's
good
awesome.
Picks. Can't go wrong there.
Can't go wrong there, but they also need more people to build around than just them.
That's true. This happens a lot, where people are just kind of sticking around, and then eventually it gets stale, and then they pick new people.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully at some point they will. I don't care about Nia Jax being in the title picture. Nia Jax, in my opinion, sucks. She's not that good.
Her.
Natalya sucks. Alicia Fox sucks. Dana Brooke is terrible. So Raw has a bigger issue than SmackDown right now with the women and stuff. But they should expand their horizons and focus on more women than just them. Next question. Do you think Chad Gable should pull a Juice Robinson and request his release from WWE and make a huge name for himself in Lucha Underground, Impact, Ring of Honor, or New Japan? Yeah, I'd be in favor of that. Chad Gable's great. They really don't have much for him at all. He's on Raw every once in a while, losing to Mojo Rawley and frickin' Jinder Mahal. But he is so good. They could be doing a lot more with him. If he feels that they aren't doing much with him at all, he might as well just leave and thrive elsewhere and become a bigger star in another company. His next question, do you think Charlotte will win the championship at SummerSlam and Becky will then turn heel / go bad? So Charlotte won last night.
Yeah, I read that.
She's in the title match with Carmella and Becky.
Yeah.
I think there's a decent chance Charlotte might win. Honestly, I think Charlotte might win. They might keep the chase going with Becky.
I think she could too.
And Becky's a great underdog, so honestly, I think Charlotte will win. Carmella sucks. I really don't want her as champion anymore.
I don't care for her.
I don't care for her at all, but I like Carmella, but she's really not that good. But yeah, I don't think Becky should be the one to go bad. I think she's much more likable than Charlotte. Charlotte a couple years ago as a bad guy.
That's why I was saying,
great.
We all hated her.
Charlotte is so
like
good
now?
As a bad guy. Everyone loves her, so they turned her face. They turned her good.
She's good now?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Exactly. She's very miscast in that role.
That's not right.
So I'm hoping that because, oh look, I'm back and I get a title shot. It's like the same thing with John Cena. You come back and you get a fucking title shot from day one.
Does she come on regularly, or is she just here once in a while?
No, she's always here, but she's been hurt now for like 2 months.
Okay, well then, perfect.
That's why. Yeah, that's why I haven't seen her. Yeah, so it just makes no sense that she's getting a title shot from the get-go. So it's stupid. No. It's dumb.
Well, maybe it just means something is about to happen with
hopefully, because Becky's getting why is she back and getting a title shot? So I wouldn't turn Becky heel, but I would have Charlotte be the one to go back to her roots as a villain. At Reborn Again from Twitter, do you think the build for SummerSlam seems very blah so far, or am I just not seeing the bigger picture of the current card? I think it's a tale of two shows right now with Raw. Couldn't give two shits about any of the matches that Raw has at SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, don't care about. Cena before, don't give a shit. Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss I like. I think that build's been very good. Finn Balor and Baron Corbin, they'll probably have another match. Don't give a shit at all. What else is on Raw? For the United States Championship? What even is it? Who's the U.S. champion right now? Who's the champion right now? Oh, the Intercontinental champion is Dolph Ziggler. They're doing Dolph and Seth again. Oh, that's
why I don't know, because I don't like him.
Yeah, that's why. Dolph Ziggler, my current calendar for the month of August, unfortunately.
I can't stand him.
Ugh.
He used to be good.
He used to be. I'm not a Dolph fan.
Ago.
Not a fan of Dolph anymore. We saw Dolph and Seth at the last pay-per-view. I'm sure the match will be good. Don't care anymore. For SmackDown, Daniel Bryan and The Miz should be great. Looking forward to that. They're probably going to do Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton for the U.S. title, which is great too. Samoa
Hopefully
Joe
no
and
ears
AJ.
will be abused.
Hopefully, ears, lives matters too, so hopefully they will stay intact. Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, looking forward to that a lot. That should be great. The women's title match, I'm even looking forward to that too. Charlotte being involved, Becky and Carmella 1-on-1, I'm fine with that, but I thought that would have been a better match, but Charlotte being involved is fine too. So yeah, the SmackDown card is great. I'm looking forward to the SmackDown side of SummerSlam much more than the Raw side, so I'm not super hyped for SummerSlam. I'm more excited now than I was a week ago when you listened to Lexus and criticized my interest in SummerSlam for this year, or maybe that was your mom. But one of you guys heard it and was like, you're not looking forward to SummerSlam? And I said, no, the card sucks.
That was not me.
It was your mom, I think. And I'm not going, so maybe that's why I don't care. But yeah, I think SummerSlam, the build, has been better on SmackDown so far than on Raw. His second question, what are your thoughts on the rumors that WWE will be releasing a lot of people just after SummerSlam, and who could you see them cutting ties with?
That's a good question.
It is a good question. I don't think they will cut anyone. I guess they could. I haven't heard those rumors. I have not heard those rumors whatsoever. Sometimes they do like a spring cleaning where they get rid of a bunch of people at once because they don't need them anymore. Mike Kanellis has not been on TV for fucking months. I could see them cutting him. Maybe they're waiting for Maria to get back, but shocked he's still on the roster. I love Mike Kanellis, but I think they could cut him. Primo and Epico I'm shocked they're still around. The former Matadors, they're still in the company.
They're still there?
That's Primo and Epico. One of them got hurt, then the other one got hurt. They haven't been on TV in like a year. So I'm hoping they get cut at some point or just leave because I don't care about them at all. They add nothing to the tag team division. I don't know about anyone else. I'm trying to think of other people who aren't on the show. Or like Chad Gable, I could see them cutting him. He is really good, but they don't really need him. Zack Ryder I love, but I could see them cutting him at some point. I mean, he's been around for so long, maybe they see him as an asset or something for the media or whatever for like public relations. I don't know.
He's irrelevant.
I love Zack Ryder. He is irrelevant, but I love Ryder.
He's very
woo,
irrelevant.
Woo, woo.
No.
You know it.
No.
Yes. Woo, woo, woo.
I think I heard his thing on, like, the Royal Rumble or something like that a long time ago. Me and, like...
Good.
Someone else were cracking up.
Good. I love Zack Ryder. But I could see them getting rid of him. Those are just a few people. Largely people from Raw. People from SmackDown. Maybe Ty Dillinger. I haven't seen him on SmackDown in a while. R-Truth. God forbid how is he still around. I could see them cutting him. He's in like a backstage role now. So maybe they would keep him around. But those are only a few of the people I could see them cutting. Next question. What are 3 positives and 3 negatives about the WWE product this year, i.e. match quality, storylines, and TV presentation, etc.? I put just 3 things down in general because I couldn't think of 3 and 3. Good. Match quality. The matches are almost always great. It's not really about the wrestling anymore because the wrestling is better now than it's ever been. The bad, I just don't care about the pay-per-views at all. They fail to get me excited about the pay-per-views. The build of these shows is very lackluster. And also the repetitive Raw shows. Raw is just in a freaking, just a bad state right now. It's in the doldrums at the moment. I don't care about Raw. SmackDown's been a lot better this year. NXT is great. But yeah, I think, I don't know, just Raw in general really has not done a lot for me in 2018. The storylines, the Miz and Daniel Bryan has been very well built. So that's another positive from this year. And Seth Rollins has been super great this year. And yeah, those are just a few things that I like and don't like about WWE in 2018. At AWSM Media Guy, Taha Khan from Twitter and Facebook, he's a great guy. He said, by the way, I love you guys. He put that on Twitter. I think you saw that, but he just wanted to let you know.
I love you.
We love you. I love you too. His question was...
You look under your chair, you'll get a free ticket to Hawaii.
Look at that. Yeah. What a sweetheart you are. Brock Lobster or Bork Laser? Which one do you prefer?
I like Brock Lobster.
Brock Lobster?
Yeah.
Brock Lobster. As Paul Heyman would say. So,
yeah.
Brock Lobster. I like that more too. This is for me. Who do you think will be the NXT champion this time next year? Ricochet. Ricochet is a fucking star. Still have to get Alexis into NXT. NXT is the best thing going today. It's amazing. I'll have to watch. And he said, are you all in? I'm not going to All In September. It's going to be a great show. I am all in. I love All In. I love the Bullet Club. I love those guys. But I'm not going, but I am all in. Are you all in, Alexis? Are you all in?
Don't even know what that means, but yes.
Are you all in? Are you
Sure.
all in? Okay,
Yes.
Alexis is all in.
Yes, that's it.
I love her even more now.
Yes.
Oh my God, pulling a Daniel Bryan, she's adorable. At the NWO reviewer of the 4 weekly WWE shows, which one is the best and which one is the worst right now? So Alexis does not watch. She's only really starting to get back into it. She doesn't watch NXT. She doesn't watch 205 Live. So we're only really going between Raw and SmackDown right now. Which one's better? Is basically what he's saying.
SmackDown.
That's not even a
That's
not even a question.
A no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer.
But you know what's weird to me is how they keep moving. This is totally irrelevant, but how they keep moving around where SmackDown's going.
Yeah.
Why are they doing that?
It depends on the network and time slot, and they got to keep. I think they're moving back to Fridays next October.
They should stay on Fridays.
I like it better on Tuesdays just because on Fridays I'd rather do anything else. I love SmackDown, but I'd rather have my Fridays open to do something else. That's just me.
That's true, but
that's just personally me.
It's just nice to have everything spread out and something to look forward to during the week.
I think that way as well. I mean, if you have everything back to back to back with the pay-per-views Raw than SmackDown, the rest of the week there's nothing going on. There's NXT on Wednesdays like tonight, and NXT is the best show going on right now, in my opinion. But SmackDown on Friday is happening in 2019, so we can stay home and watch it together on Fridays in October of 2019. So she's nodding her head right now, so I like that deal a lot. Yes. At Scarlet1, let's see, final few questions here from her. Final 5 questions are from her. So, how did you two meet each other?
Okay. I like this question.
I like this question. I figured you would like this question.
Yeah.
You want to answer it?
Okay. Well, first of all, he works at a movie theater like 20 minutes from my house, and he's been there for a long, long time. So one day, I'm in school. I went to school in New York, but now I'm back, and I'm staying.
She's back for good now.
Yeah, I'm back for good now.
Yay! I mean, good for you. Yay! Just for me. I mean, awesome. I mean, it's great. More.
It's awesome.
Oh, that was amazing. I love you even more now. Go ahead. Continue. My heart just dropped.
And my mom says to me, "Why don't you work at the movie theater? Because our whole family's regulars there. We go there once or twice a week. Everyone knows us. The managers love us." And I was like, "That's a good point. Maybe I'll do that.
Maybe I'll do it. So
she's
doing that to mock me, by the way.
They don't know that. Shh.
Oh my God.
Subscribe.
They definitely know that. Thank you for the plug.
I filled out an application, called the manager a couple times, and the first day I got back was the 2nd, and then I got my interview on the 3rd, and I got hired that day right there, and guess who was working?
This guy.
Graham.
It's the rest is history.
Yeah, he was working in concession, and then the next 2 days later, he trained me, so we talked the entire day.
We bonded, and after she said that she watched wrestling, she was a big Disney fan, loved Rick and Morty, loved the Muppets, I was like, I'm sold, I'm in love. Please be my girlfriend. It took about a month after that, but
it did.
I was very happy. Definitely happiest I've ever been. So yeah, that's how we met, and now we work together all the time, and it's so great. And she's great. Yeah, watch Raw together.
Working today in
a couple hours. So yeah, cool. I can't work with you tonight, but I am glad I got to have you over today, and
I'm very glad to be here. I really appreciate it.
Of course, very happy to have you in my life. So the next question: any thoughts on the Evolution, the all women's pay-per-view? This is for you because I already talked about this last week.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not. The divas aren't really that.
They're not divas anymore.
They're not divas anymore?
They took away the divas title.
Really?
Yeah, because it's degrading, so they took it away.
It's
divas is a degrading word.
It's not that degrading.
It has a negative connotation, it does.
Okay, what are they called now?
Just women.
So
they're women. That's what they should be called. And superstars. They're superstars too. But they're women, though. That's why it's called the Women's Championship.
Are the men still called the superstars?
Yeah, they're still superstars, yeah.
Okay. That's weird.
There's no divas.
Okay, that's going to take a while for me to get used to that.
No divas.
Can you tell I haven't watched in a long time?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. We're kind of in a new era where everyone's more bringing equality in everywhere, but I don't know. I'm not really that interested in it. I'm more interested in the superstars. It'll
take her more time to get into it because the women now are a lot better. They're not amazing, but they are very, 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 very good.
They are better, and I'm more interested in it than I used to be. I used to not even give two shits.
Yeah, because no one can give two shits. The matches used to last 30 seconds.
No one cared.
No one cared at all. Yeah, ever.
So. And they are better. They're longer. They have better storylines now. But I don't know. I just haven't really. I haven't gotten into the women.
Yeah, that's what they are. Not the divas.
The divas.
Not the D word. Divas.
I'm gonna have to. That's gonna take a long time.
Yeah, it's gonna take time. Maybe she'll be back into it by Evolution in October. We'll see.
I'll watch that. No problem.
Of course, Ronda Rousey will be on it. So
I love her.
She'll be on the show. She'll probably be headlining. Do you have any favorite books, movies, games, TV shows, etc.?
I hate reading. So
really?
Sorry, not sorry. I don't like reading.
I did not know that. For some reason, I thought you liked to read.
I can't focus for too long to read a book.
Okay.
I can't. It's really hard for me. Movies, I have La La Land everywhere. I love La La Land. Great movie. I have a lot of older taste and stuff.
Loves Pixar too. She loves Pixar and Disney.
I love Pixar. Coco. Love Coco.
Oh my God.
Love the
Very well
Godfather
established.
series. Goodfellas. I love Scarface. I love anything with Al Pacino in it.
Mm-hmm.
Games. I like PC games more.
She's pretty good in Mario Kart. I can attest to that.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. I love The Sims 4. Stanley Parable I have on my computer. Minecraft. GTA. All that stuff. TV shows. Black Mirror.
I know.
I love
Very good show.
Black Mirror.
She showed it to me.
Hopefully they do another season. And I love like The Twilight Zone. Like stuff like that. Like older stuff. MASH. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Those are good ones.
Those are good shows. Damn, got good taste. Introvert or extrovert?
I don't know. It flips with me. I'm more of an introvert.
Really?
I'm more of an introvert.
You're definitely introvert. I was surprised you said that flips with you.
It flips with me when I'm with people I like am very comfortable with.
But that's not extrovert though.
I'm
the exact same. I'm an introvert. We're the exact same.
So we're
way.
the same.
We're the same. We're introverts. But with you, it's like it's different. With people that I like, it's different. I'm very, very open in myself. I'm much more over the top when I'm with people that I like. Beyond that, it's introvert.
Yeah, I'm
100%.
I think we talked about this a couple days ago. I'm a very like weird person, but a very good weird. I think like I do weird things. Like I have a Woody doll we got from New York.
Trust me, you're sitting right next to a championship belt, sister.
You have no idea. I was gonna bring Woody here.
So
I have a Woody doll that I bring to work sometimes.
You should have brought it. We got it together in New York City last week.
We did.
Should have brought it, and Delia would have loved it. She loves Toy Story. But anyway, next time.
Yeah.
You're not weird, trust me. If you are weird, then I'm just as weird.
But I'm a good weird. Like,
I hope I'm the same
I would
way.
rather.
I agree
would
with
rather
that.
be like I love the.
You're not boring, trust me. Which is good. So I agree with that. Very similar in that sense. And finally, how has 2018 treated you? And is there anything that you were looking forward to? And if not, or if need mentioning, not looking forward to concerning the rest of the year?
That's a great question, especially right now.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
Yeah.
Because I've been talking for like a week with you, and with like other people about what to do for the rest of my days. Because I completely like on a whim yesterday just decided to switch what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. Like completely.
Your career path, yeah.
Yeah, I completely switched it. I'm looking forward to where it's gonna go. And I think it's been a great year.
I think so.
Especially in June.
Ups and downs, especially in June onward.
Yeah.
Definitely July, definitely June.
Very unexpected, very pleasantly surprised, and I would have it no other way because as
Stole
we
the words
say,
right out of my mouth, yeah.
Everything happens for a reason.
I agree. 100%. And August has already been amazing.
It's August 1st. I was like, wait, it's not even August.
Oh my God, that's the point. Because I spend my entire month. I've spent this entire month with you.
Yeah, every single day, pretty much.
Every day in the month of August so far, I've spent with you.
Ever since you came back from Money in the Bank.
Pretty much, not every day, but like.
Well, pretty much every day, almost.
Almost every day, except for like that stretch where I didn't see you for like 2 days because you were like, "Fuck you, don't want to see you."
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
But beyond that, yeah, pretty much every other day. Which is great. Amazing. Wouldn't have it any other way, like you said. Any other closing thoughts before we close out this episode? Any other final wrestling thoughts before we close out with final thoughts overall? Because that was the last question.
I'm really excited to start getting into it again.
It's good.
Because I was really into it secretly a long, long time ago. And I didn't tell anyone about it, so I'm glad that I have someone to nerd out about it with. And I have a lot more favorites now.
Yeah, I like pretty much everyone on the roster for the most part. Unless your name is Jinder Mahal, I pretty much like everyone.
You hate him.
I hate Jinder Mahal. But yeah, she has never been to a show before. Fun fact.
Never.
Alexis has now watched on and off for the past 5.5 years. Has never seen a show live. I'm looking to change that in a couple weeks.
Bad.
Looking to change that if we go to SmackDown after SummerSlam. So we'll see. In Brooklyn. Her backyard where she went to school. So she knows it very well. We were there a couple weeks ago. Might go back for that. In Manhattan. I mean, they come to Connecticut all the time. They go to New York all the time. But I don't really want to go to SummerSlam because it's going to be a long day, and I'm already going to a show the day before, so I'm like going to be really, really tired. I'd rather go to a show after that on the Monday or Tuesday. SmackDown's kind of the better brand right now, so I really want to go to SmackDown over Raw, so we might go to that instead. And Daniel Bryan would be there because that's his show. Now, if you go to Raw, you get to see Seth Rollins, so it's really a win-win either way. But SmackDown's better right now, so I'd rather go to SmackDown. So, again, more on that as it gets closer. That's on that for another 3 weeks. But anyway, if you guys want to send in a question to the show to #AskGSM, Ask Alexis. It's over. Don't think she's taking over the show.
No!
Don't be tweeting me asking me, when's Alexis coming back? Oh, she's coming back next week. Oh, have her take over your spot regularly. Like, listen to me, people. It's still my show. We're fucking 244 episodes in. It's my show. But she'll be back. She'll be back. You'll be back. Trust me. You'll be back. You'll pull a CM Punk and return at some point down the road. And not 20 years like CM Punk. But like, hopefully soon. We'll see. Depending on schedules, we work things out. You're a busy girl. I'm a busy guy. So we'll work things out in the near future, and you'll be back here on the show. But if you guys have not had enough of Alexis, she'll be back on Wrestle Rant Radio. Right as we're done recording this, we'll record a quick episode of Wrestle Rant Radio. She has her entire notes written down from Raw this past week.
Yes, sir.
And SmackDown. So going to be talking about that before she takes off in a few hours. But anyway, like I said, if you guys want to send in a question to the show, you can tweet me on the Twitter machine at WrestleRant with the hashtag AskGSM. Follow me there at WrestleRant, like I said. Find me on Facebook as well at facebook.com/gram.gsm.matthews. Leave a comment on the post I usually put up on Tuesday nights, if not on the wall itself. And last but certainly not least, be sure to drop your question down below on this very video. I'll include your question in next week's edition. So Alexis, any final says, goodbyes, any final thoughts?
Adios.
Adios.
Till next time.
Till next time.
Farewell.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
Adieu. Or how is it? Bonjour? No, that's hello. Adieu. I bid you adieu. Is that what it is? I bid you I love you. If that makes sense.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Okay.
Au revoir.
Wow,
Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao, she says.
Aloha.
So, for Alexis, Graham GSM Matthews, we'll catch your ass down the road.